Okay, just making sure it's recording. Yo, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Garrett. Today's Saturday. It's 9:44 a.m. in the morning down here in Pittsburgh, where I live, and just wanted to make it. I wanted to make another video. You could say another shout out video. Number one, the first person I want to thank is Dr. Josh, the Real Gamer. For picking my name out and electing me as one of the winners that in his little contest that he does for people that wins, and then he sends out giveaway games to to people who wins his contest, and for games he probably doesn't really play as much, or doesn't really play as much on whatever it is that he does. But I do want to thank you, and I appreciate you, Dr. Josh, the Real Gamer, for selecting me as not as the number one, is one of the winners in your contest. And yeah, I did say yesterday that I'm gonna let you pass that game on to somebody else, because you know because for the old classic systems like Sega and Nintendo and stuff, I don't really play. I'm not really too big on sports games for the classics, for the classic systems like Sega and stuff, because the only sports game that that I really play is NBA Jam for Sega. And just something about it that's more fun. It's better, and I guess it's just more of an interesting game. For that system. For sports, it's just a more of an interesting sports game for Sega to play. And like as far as like football games and hockey games and any other sports games that I'm into. I play the sports games really for for like the higher more for like the higher up systems, like for instance PlayStation and GameCube, and PS2, and also if necessary Xbox. But those type of systems are like the only are like the only systems that I would play the sports games for, because the sports games on those systems that I just named, and also Dreamcast, because the sports games, they make the athletes and everything in the background look real. It makes it look like the real thing, as if it's actually on TV that you're watching it. And they have the commentators as the announcers on there, and it's just more fun and more interesting. So that's why I prefer playing the sports games for like the higher systems that I just named, because I like them better on those systems. And I'm not really too big on the sports games for the classic systems. So but yeah, I do appreciate you, Dr. Josh, the Real Gamer, for picking my name out as the winner. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm glad to have you on my stream. Glad to have you on under my channel, and glad to have you in my streams and everything. Because like I said, you're always the first person in my streams, to watch, and you're always I don't know, you're just always the last person to leave. So like I said, I really appreciate that, and like I said, I'm glad I was one of the winners in your contest, and you know, and I really appreciate it too. So again, I'm gonna let you pass that game on to somebody else, and hope that they enjoy it. And like I said, because people do like classic sports games on the classic on the classic system. So I mean, nothing wrong with that, but just giving you my opinion on what I thought about it. So, but I appreciate it. So I want to have another I guess I'll try to have another discussion about another discussion about video games, and maybe me personally, just say whatever comes to mind that comes to my mind that I want to say. But yeah, I was always a fan of it. I was always a fan of video games. I always liked video games. And because once you start playing video games from the time you were a kid, you're always going to be a gamer for life. So that's not going to go away. I mean, yeah, you might have your days where you're tired, and even when you're playing, you're not, your hand coordination and your mind's probably not into the game. So if you're playing a game, you might lose some, you might get whooped, get beat on and stuff. But I mean, but at the end of the day, you being the gamer, doing it since the time you were a kid, it's not gonna go away. And just like I was told at work sometime last week by one of my coworkers who happens to be a gamer, he says that everybody's a gamer for real. Also, there's even celebrities that plays video games and that's addicted. That I found out. I could think of a few. Number one, Vin Diesel. If you guys watch the Fast and the Furious and any other movies that he was in, yeah, Vin Diesel. Bulky dude in shape. He happens to be a gamer too, and he happens to be one of the celebrities that's addicted to video games itself. He was more addicted to he's more addicted to the PC game, to a computer game. I think it was a shooting game. I can't remember what, but it was on YouTube that he was one of the people that's addicted to video games. But so it seems like he plays for hours, and and who knows. And it's number two. The singer Rihanna, she's a video game addict. She's a video game addict too, which surprised me because she didn't look like the type of person that's a video game addict. And three, Snoop Dogg is another one that I could think of, who's addicted to video games as well. And then number four, he, this person happens to be a wrestler who was a wrestler, but I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, I haven't watched wrestling in so long. He was a commentator. He went from being a wrestler to a commentator, but I don't watch WWE no more because wrestling's not the same like it used to be, and it's not even fun to watch. You know, that person's name happens to be Booker T, the 5-time WCW champion. And who would ever thought that he was into video games or whatnot? But deep down, he is. He had a story about to tell about it on YouTube, and about how he would spend most of I guess how he would spend most of his time down at the arcade, and talking about, I guess somebody would give him the money to play video games, and talking about a quarter or something, but always having a quarter and always down at the arcade playing video games. I can't remember what games he said, but yeah, he's also a gamer as well. So I'm like, wow, oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess that's how good video games are. How good video games are. Like I said, I was always a gamer since the time I was a kid up until now. I will always be a gamer, and I will never stop being a gamer. That's one of my hobbies, and I got another game for GameCube. I got actually two games I ordered for GameCube, and Dr. Josh, it happens to be one of the games you were asking me about probably like 2 weeks ago or so, but it's here. I got it. Then I got another one that I'm gonna play that I probably won't play until on or after Christmas. That game happens to be here. You guys will see when I start playing it on that day. And I know another thing I'm gonna wind up ordering probably sometime after this month. I'm thinking about getting the mini NES classics. That's exactly what I'm thinking about getting, is the mini NES classics, and I'll tell you why. Because Nintendo used to be one of my systems. I like Super Mario Brothers. Um, I think Sega and Nintendo. I guess they combine good together. Excuse me. And if you think about it, the mini NES Classic, they did a really good job on it, putting everything together. The music and the audio was on point. The gameplay was on point. They got 30 games on it. But the one thing and the one thing that I'm not gonna do that they say you can do on YouTube for that system is hack games. And I'll tell you why I'm not most likely not going to do it, because I was just telling my coworker at work. I was telling my coworker Kyle at work about, oh, they're talking about you can hack games onto that system and everything. And he was basically telling me, if you know what if you know what you're doing, and I guess you do it right or something. But if you don't really know how to do it, and you do something wrong, the chances are, you're gonna break your that system's gonna break. You're gonna ruin the system, and it's gonna be broken. You won't be able to play it. So that's 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 not a risk that I'm not taking. I'm not willing to take that risk. So I'm just gonna play the 30 games that's on there. I'm just gonna play the games that's on there because, hey, put it like this, better better that there's games on there than none at all. So kind of look at it that way. But that is my plan. To get it. And like I said a long time ago, I used to have a I used to have the Nintendo, the classic Nintendo, along goes with the Sega Genesis, and that was back in the '90s when I was a kid, and back when I had the Genesis Model One. Yeah, I had a Nintendo with that as well. They were both hooked up to the TV, so I would play that. I would sometimes play that too until it broke, until it stopped working, until it broke. So, but yeah, I like Nintendo as well, and it'll probably gonna go upstairs in the room where I have my Sega at. So, but yeah, like I said, you think about it, Sega, Nintendo, PlayStation One, Dreamcast, and GameCube, like they kind of combine together, and I guess the reason that is because they're old, they're old systems, and yeah, I guess they're old systems, and I guess they were out and they were famous before the newer stuff came out. And a system I never really owned was the first Xbox, and but I'm probably not gonna get that because I don't know. It was pretty good system. It was alright, but I mean, I don't know. I guess there could just be some complications for it, but yeah, I won't get the first Xbox, but uh, if I do get the mini NES, that'll probably be the last system that I get, and then until anything else comes to mind that I want for a GameCube or any other system that I have, then I'll probably just get that. But besides that, I do have a ton. I do have a ton of games, and you guys all probably should have obviously seen them on the day that I reviewed and recorded my game tour here in the house. The games that I have, so I'm sure you guys probably seen most of them. So, but otherwise, yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't get no more systems after the mini NES because I think I would be good and satisfied with the systems and games that I have. I have a ton of games, and like I said, feel lucky because a lot of people, people out there, I guess don't all. A lot of people out there who likes video games, believe it or not, they don't have video games at their house because either they can't afford them or they just don't have the they can't afford them or they just don't have the money. And the only thing I can say about that part is go out there, get a job, make some money, save up, and then go on Amazon and whatever system you want, just place an order for it and wait for it to come. But you gotta make some. You gotta if you want something, just like if you're a gamer, if you like video games out there for anybody, and somebody you really want a game system, you just gotta buy them. You gotta go buy them. It ain't gonna come to you. So you just gotta go out there and get it. But that's how good video games are. Video games really are, and I'll probably be going and maybe on New Year's Eve, I probably won't be able to record or anything, probably because of my phone. But I will be going to. I'm supposed to be going to Dave and Buster's with me, my girl, and her family for New Year's Eve party. one, because I'll be off of work obviously that day and the next day, and I'll be out there playing some video games out there in Dave and Buster's. I haven't been out there in a minute, but I'm gonna see what I will be there to see what's playing out there, and I might not be able to record or do a stream on them, but like I said, if I could remember, I could tell you guys the games that I played and how I did on them, and the good thing about games at that place too. I mean, you don't have to put money in them. You get a card, you get a game card. Hold on, let me grab it out here. Do I still have a game card up in here? Hold on, give me a second, y'all. I could pull one out. Basically, with this Dave and Buster's power card. I mean, yeah, you could it takes money. It takes money off of you could get a certain amount of chips on it for a certain price, and you can play as many games on it as you possibly can until it runs out. It's rechargeable, but it'll cost you, and I think you could also eat meals with this as well. I think you might be able to do that, but mostly you could just play games. So that's really what this is really. That's what this really is. It's rechargeable, but it'll charge you, and all you do is just slide, and all you do is just slide it through. They have like a card slide, and you just slide it through you slide it through a certain way, and then the game will start up. You could play as many games as you want with it, until it runs out. But we'll see what my mind and heart desires on that day when we go. And I hear they have some pretty new games now, so I don't know what they have. I tell you, one of the games that I was swole that they took out was that mocap boxing machine. Man, I got to the final fight, but then I lost. So I nearly almost beat that boxing machine. So they don't have it there no more. I was swole when they took it. I'm like, oh man. But that's a good that boxing game was good. It's a good workout too. So if you just look up mocap arcade boxing, you guys will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and in Sega, I mean, they may not have did a good job on the mini Genesis, but as far as like the arcade games that was produced and made by Sega, they did a good job on most of the games that they made. What they created on the arcades. I'll give them that. They did a good job on the Genesis. They did a good job on the Sega Genesis Nomad. That's the only Sega Genesis portable game that I like. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with the Genesis and Dreamcast. They did a good job on the Dreamcast. They was supposed to make a Dreamcast Part 2 back in 2014, but they never did, which I don't understand why. But I guess something better came up. But they should still reconsider and do that. Let's see what it's like. So maybe it would have been more like PlayStation 2, where you could play Dreamcast 1 games on there as well. But I don't know. And they're thinking about making it again, but will they for sure? Don't know. But yeah, I just want but another thing, why how I was addicted to video games, and I'll tell you how that was, cuz I remember a long time ago at the mall. This was probably like in the early 2000s or something. It was me, my mom, and some of my cousins and my brother as well. We went to the mall. We went to the mall, right? Out basically like where the Sears was at. And as we walked into the front door, as we walked into the front entrance, there was a store that had like a lot of video game kiosk games in there, and I wanted to go. I wanted to go in, and I was told no. I was told no. I was told no. I couldn't play, but and when I was told no that I couldn't play, I was so mad. I was This was when I was a kid, though. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was crying. I was just flipping out and losing my mind when my mom told me no, I wasn't going in there and I wasn't playing because I had to stay. I had to stay with them. So um, that day I couldn't really play. I asked later on that day if I could go in there and play, and I was told no. So I was just losing my mind in the mall the whole entire time, and I was just so mad at her, and and that's just how bad of it. That's just how addicted to video games I was. I love video games. Anytime I seen a video game in the store or anywhere else, or even in an arcade, I would just go up and start playing. I would just go up and start playing it because even though I didn't care how my mom felt about it or what she said or thought or anybody else, it still didn't stop me from being a gamer, and I will always be a gamer because my saying is, once a gamer, always a gamer for life. And I thank the Japanese for even inventing the video games. And the messed up part is how they invented and created all the video games that's been made and shipped off in the U.S. in the United States. Well, they don't let their own kids play, and I found it funny and thought it would. I found it funny, but I don't know. The Japanese were just strict and they just didn't want their kids being addicted to it. But if it wasn't for the Japanese, we probably wouldn't have any video games here in the United States and America. So I got to give it thanks to them. But yeah, like I said, But anyways, I just wanted to make another shout out video to thank Dr. Josh for picking me as the number one is one of his winners in the contest, and for being the first person to come in my streams until he has to go. I thank you, Dr. Josh, and also another person I want to thank, for helping me make something happen on YouTube, Brian Trusty. I also want to thank you as well, Brian Trusty, because I like the way you made and created my YouTube banner, and I also like my profile pic that you made and created for me. So it looks really nice. You did a really good job on it. So I thank you for that, Brian Trusty, and I thank you for helping me you know helping me go helping me with my YouTube and you know making things look up for me. So things are really looking up for me on YouTube, and I thank you again, Brian Trusty, for making my banner and profile pic. I really appreciate that, and thank you. And you did an awesome job on it. So with that being said, that I'm gonna end the shout out video, and I guess I will see, and I do plan on doing a stream later on today on the GameCube. Hopefully, if I have the time today, I will do a stream later on the GameCube, and like I said, just wanted to thank you, Dr. Josh, the Real Gamer, and Brian Trusty. Want to thank you guys, and feel like, excuse me, things are looking up for me on YouTube, and want to thank you guys. And like I said, all of y'all are the greatest. All of you guys are the greatest. So, but anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna end this. This is your boy Garrett, and I will see you guys later. You guys take it easy. Have a good one. And remember, once a gamer, always a gamer. All right, you guys. Peace.